My peoples, welcome to Box Center. Y'all already know what it is, man. Your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. Yo, man, today we just gotta talk about what we would like to see from His Excellency Turki Alalshikh. We already seen that he has the power to make fights happen, and there's a lot of fights out there that we want to see, but we haven't been able to get. Well, His Excellency is the one to get it done. The first one, the most important fight to me right now, Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis. Well, because I already know Canelo's not going to take the Bud Crawford fight next, apparently, right? So, with that fight off the table, Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis is without a doubt the most intriguing fight. You know, the pure hard puncher versus the guy who can box. You know, who's the Floyd Mayweather-like type of guy with that ring IQ, with the footwork, with the hand speed. So Shakur seems unbeatable, and to some people, Tank is unbeatable. So what's going to happen? What's the outcome? Well, I'm going to keep it 100 with y'all, man. I already know what's going to happen. But you don't know what's going to happen. Or maybe you do. I don't know. But it's going to be a great fight, man. Like, they announced that fight, and it's going to be a frenzy. I promise you. The internet is going to go crazy over it. And those are the type of things, these are the type of fights that attract the casual boxing fans. You know, people who don't watch fights that often, who watch, you know, once in a while when they get interested because they hear about it. Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis is the type of fight that will attract the casual boxing fan. So I believe that if that fight was to get made, it will actually supersede Tank Davis versus Ryan Garcia's pay-per-view numbers. I think that would be the biggest pay-per-view Tank Davis will have done in his career if he goes against Shakur Stevenson. Now, I understand what you're saying, my brother, about Shakur don't sell because he hasn't sold. I understand that. But here's what makes what you're saying faulty. I want you to really pay attention to this, right? Shakur Stevenson hasn't been on pay-per-view. He's been on ESPN, right? ESPN, on regular ESPN. But guess what? Shakur Stevenson's last fight was the most viewed fight out of all boxers who's been on ESPN this year. That means that on ESPN, he's been the most popular boxer that they have. The numbers are there to back me up. So all I'm saying is, the fact that he hasn't been on pay-per-view, that doesn't mean that he's not going to sell, my guy. What you have to understand is that Tank Davis versus Shakur Stevenson is a fight where everybody feels like they know what's going to happen. Everybody's saying, no, I know Tank is going to beat him. And then there's people saying, I know Shakur is going to beat him. So everybody's sure about the outcome. Those are the type of fights that pull the attention. Because now if you feel like Tank is going to win, that you want to tune in to watch him win. And the same thing about Shakur fans. You know, Shakur fans, they're going to tune in and say, yo, he's going to win. I'm telling you. This talking about writing stuff, man, that's corny. That's corny. That just means that you cannot handle an honest assessment. That's all that is. You corny. You know, like, oh, you meat writing. Like, what the fuck kind of shit is that, man? You go on the internet to talk that corny shit to strangers, man. You goofy. Say something about what you believe. Do you think that the fight shouldn't be made? Do you think, you know, I don't even know what you disagree about, man. You just coming in here talking corny. Oh, shit. Officer Smith, man. You tripping, my boy. When Teofimo was on ESPN, he had more seats. Yo, I'm trying to tell you. All you have to do is look at all of the fighters who have been on ESPN this year. Shakur got the most rating. So that tells you that his popularity is up there. Don't let that corny narrative fool you about, oh, he don't sell, he don't sell. Man, you don't know what he's going to sell when he go on pay-per-view. You don't know. But, that's how it is, my people. Some folks just got to hate. The hate is the narrative. I'm not trying to hear all that hate. I don't care about all that. I'm seeing what's going on in the ring. Both guys are undefeated. Both guys are champions. You got the hard puncher versus the slick boxer. Man, if you go back in history, that has always been a blockbuster. Look at Sugar Ray Leonard versus Tommy Hearns. You know what I'm saying? The boxer versus the puncher. Anytime throughout history that you see the boxer and the puncher, fans of boxing are interested. They want to see what's going to happen in that fight. Because a lot of people, there's always that segment of boxing fans that believe the puncher is going to knock them out. And then there's always that group that say, nah, man, the slick boxer, he's going to outbox him. So when Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson get in the ring, who do you think is going to win? That's the magic question. I wanted to address Bud Crawford. Hold on. Boxing is a business, though. Had to do with fan base, seats, championship, how many belts they got. You're right about that. Shakur is a multi-division champion. Right now, he's a unified champion. He has multiple belts. Well, he's about to get another belt. He was unified at 130. He has a title. Shakur Stevenson got the credentials. That's one. And two, take a look at the ESPN numbers. He's the most popular boxer on the most popular network, sports network in the planet. Bro, Shakur Stevenson's popularity cannot be understated just because he hasn't been on pay-per-view. That's whack. That's a whack point of view to say, well, he don't sell. Based on what are you saying that he don't sell? Go look at the ratings. The ratings, if you're on ESPN, the ratings are what's going to tell us what you looking like. Are you popular or not? The fact that Shakur Stevenson is the most watched fighter on ESPN tells you that he's also the most popular, my boy. As simple as that. The numbers don't lie. So him and Tank Davis, that's going to be an explosive pay-per-view. And I'm telling you, it'll pass 1 million. Easy. Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis passes 1 million pay-per-views. You can take that shit to the bank right now. Cash that shit. They're going to give you your money. I'm not playing with y'all. And remember, my peoples, Box Center giving you that original boxing content. You're going to have to check out them videos. Subscribe to the channel, my peoples. I promise you this is original. I'm giving y'all the truth, the real deal, Holyfield. Ain't no capping. Ain't no... And I wanted to tell y'all, I forgot, but I wanted to bring up the situation with Terrence Crawford, right? We already know that Bud is not going to fight Canelo. That's off the table for now. So what should be next? Some people saying Boots should be next. Some people saying, okay, Virgil, that's going to be next because of what happened. So if he fights Virgil Ortiz next, I like that fight. But I don't know if Virgil's team is going to make him duck that smoke. Boots versus Crawford, my people. Let me tell you something. I want that fight just as bad as everybody else. But I know that it's most likely not to happen. And you know why that's the case? Very simple. Boots and Crawford are at different stages of their career. Boots, he's already, a champion, but he hasn't beaten big names yet. He's still at that stage in his career where he hasn't gotten that marquee win to set him off to that stardom like that. And he's going to get there. I'm pretty sure of it. But Crawford, on the other hand, is at the tail end of his career. He might have 1, maybe 2 more fights and retire. So what is he going to do? Get the most lucrative fight, but also the one that is going to give him the most bang for his legacy. That's why he wants Canelo Alvarez. To take that guy who was the face of boxing, who been pound for pound number 1, who was pound for pound number 1 for I don't even remember how long, and beat him. Crawford want that in his resume, that in his legacy. So unfortunately, Boots and Crawford, they're not at the same stage of their career, and that's why I believe that we're most likely not to see that fight. And Boots' team and himself already said that they want to become undisputed at 147. So for him to become undisputed at 147, it's going to take some fights. And Crawford obviously is not going to sit there at 154 waiting for him. He's trying to even move up to fight Canelo. So that's why, my peoples, you don't see me saying, yo, Crawford, fight Boots, fight Boots. Because I already know, yo, that fight is business-wise, is not meant to happen. I'd love to get it. Yo, I would love the surprise that they're going to say, yo, we're going to make Boots. I would celebrate that fight. I just don't see it happen. Keeping it real with y'all, my people. Virgil looked bad in his last fight. You know, he didn't look as impressive, I guess. Now, we have to take into account inactivity. He was also, you know, making his debut in the division. That could be a factor as well. You know, you saw with Crawford, I think Crawford looked good, but he didn't look as good as people would have wanted to. And, you know, he had a tough opponent to deal with. That's the way it played out. But he clearly won. You know, anybody saying otherwise just don't know shit about boxing. That's the reality. Now, I want y'all to think about this. What about this fight? Virgil Ortiz and Boots Ennis. That's a fight that I've been wanting to see from a few years ago. So Virgil versus Boots, yo, that's a heck of a fight. That's a showdown. I'd like to see it. I know that people think, well, Virgil didn't look good in his last fight, so I understand that, my brother. NYC Cal, I understand that, my guy. Alex 845, I understand that, my guy. But I want to see that fight, man. I think Virgil versus Boots is a heck of a fight. Now, I don't agree with you, my brother. What you're saying about Crawford not being able to handle 168. Because let me tell you something. That assessment is not accurate. And I'm going to tell you why. I just want you to at least consider what I'm telling you. Crawford's fight with Madrimov, or the fact that it went the distance, it really had nothing to do with weight. It had to do with styles. He wasn't getting walked down. He wasn't getting beat up. He didn't get hurt at any point in the fight, right? So if you tell me, well, Madrimov was walking him down and bullying him throughout the fight, beating him up, then I would tell you, oh, wait, yeah, it's because of the weight. But that didn't happen, my guy. Madrimov wasn't putting his weight on Crawford. He wasn't bullying him in the ring. That's a false narrative that's being spread. The reason it went the distance, you know why? Because Madrimov is a very good fighter. Madrimov had like 300 amateur bouts. So people are fooled by the fact that he doesn't have that much professional experience. These guys, it's like Lomachenko. He didn't have that many pro fights, but he a master. So Madrimov was a lot better than people thought. That style that he got where he was constantly feigning, constantly, yo, he had a very hard style to time. So Crawford couldn't time him and had to deal with him for 12 rounds. But it really had nothing to do with weight, my brother. That's super cap about how, oh, well, he couldn't handle 158. So, he just got a guy that can fight. People not giving Madrimov his credit. Nobody is pausing to say, yo, how good is this guy? They not giving him his credit. The guy's really good, yo. That's what happened that night. But Crawford fought a fighter that was very good. But he didn't get bullied. He didn't get, beat up. He didn't get, walked down or nothing like that. So I don't see how it could have had anything to do with the weight. So that's why I say that's a false narrative. So, okay, Canelo is beyond him. You could say that. I agree with that statement, right? But here's the magic phrase that you have to always consider, my brother. Styles make fights. What happened between Crawford and Madrimov has absolutely nothing to do with what's going to happen between Crawford and Canelo, my guy. Boxing has proven that over and over and over to us. Look at this, look at this. El Rayo Valenzuela got knocked out. Bull gave Tank the fight of his life. And look, El Rayo beat him up. So you see, if your logic always works like you think it does, then Pitbull should have knocked out Valenzuela. Pitbull should have beat him up. So never judge a future fight, my brother, based on what happened with these two guys. That's irrelevant. That has nothing to do with what's going to happen in a future fight. So the notion of, oh, well, Crawford fought at 154 and he struggled, so imagine at 168, that's faulty. That's not, that. It doesn't really work like that. Listen, I'm not going to tell you that you had him or that you didn't, but I didn't see nobody have him, and after he beat him, now everybody had him. Everybody had Rayo. Now, if you want to, you can go back to my post and look at what I said. I said, yo, people sleeping on Rayo. People don't understand his boxing skills. They don't realize that Rayo can actually outbox Pitbull. If it go the distance, he's going to win that fight. So Pitbull's going to need a knock. It's on video. That's what I love about, having a channel where I get to tell you what I believe is going to happen. And it's right there. The receipts are always going to be there. All I could tell you is that Rayo, based on the logic that you just gave me, was supposed to lose to Pitbull. But he did not. He beat him. He beat him up. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. The notion that Canelo struggled with Madrimov, perceived struggle because he outboxed him. But the fact that it went the distance, at 154, so therefore he's going to struggle at 168, that's super false, my guy. It's actually irrelevant how he's going to perform at 168. It's super, when the fight actually happens, what's going to dictate the outcome is the skills. It's the skills. 9 times out of 10, once in a while you can say, oh my God, that was a crazy punch he landed. You know how you can consider a punch lucky? If a guy's getting beat up during the whole fight and he lands one, boom, you can say, oh, well, that was a lucky punch. But if it's a competitive fight and then somebody gets knocked out, there was no luck in that. So I'm trying to tell you, Crawford versus Canelo is going to be competitive. And there's a reason why a lot of professional fighters, my guy, are saying Crawford's going to win that. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one. Look around to see what some of the best fighters in the world are saying when they're asked that question. Look what they're saying. A lot of people you are picking Bud to beat Canelo. A lot of people. So you have to wonder how people within the business of boxing, active fighters, retired fighters, are picking Bud. What does that tell you? I'll give you another hint. I'll give you another hint that I want you to consider. Destroy Crawford. He's not going to destroy Crawford. Crawford's going to outbox him, just like Floyd did. Canelo was way bigger than Floyd. Still got outboxed. That's what y'all don't want to understand. That you feel like, oh, Canelo's too big. He's too big. Yo, size don't win fights, my guy. Size don't win fights. What you don't take into account when you're saying 168, 168, 168. Number one, Crawford is taller than Canelo. Number two, Crawford has longer reach than Canelo. And number three, this dude walks around in the 160s. Like, when we talk Crawford Canelo, people think that it's a huge difference in size. When they stand next to each other, Canelo don't even look bigger than Crawford, my guy. I seen them next to each other. He don't even look that much bigger. So What you don't realize when you say 168, 168, like you guys cling on to that 168. Bro, Canelo's a mass small 168 pounder. Everybody in that division is bigger than him. Every opponent he fights is bigger than him. Canelo's not a big dude, my guy. He's not. So, again, the notion that, 168, 168, you're looking at division, you're not considering the fact that Canelo is a super small 168 pounder. And every opponent that you look at has been bigger than him. Look at his opponents in the 168 division. So you have a small 168 pounder fighting a guy who's a little bit taller than him, who got more reach than him, who's going to be weighing right around what he weighs. Come on, man. The size difference and the weight difference is not as big as you think, bro. It's not. Crawford's the same size as this dude if you see him next to each other. Oh, no, come on. Crawford beats Benavidez. Come on, man. That's crazy. Nah, you bugging out. You see? You're making real faulty assumptions, my guy. I don't talk crazy like that. Benavidez is way too big for Crawford. We're never going to see that fight. The only people that talk about Benavidez and Crawford is Crawford haters. The fact that you said that, it means that you're a Crawford hater. That's it. You're identified, label Crawford hater. Because, Crawford is too small for Benavidez. You see, that's a size difference. If Canelo used to look at Benavidez and say, this dude is too big for me, imagine Crawford, how he's going to see him. So, Benavidez and Crawford, that shouldn't even be mentioned in the same sentence. Only Crawford haters bring up those two names in the same sentence, my guy. So many better fights than Crawford and Benavidez. I'm saying Crawford and Benavidez, like, I don't know why would somebody even say that, B? Like, I'm going to tell you something. I want Crawford versus Boots. Don't get it twisted. I just understand that it's probably not going to happen because, again, Boots is in the beginning of his career and Crawford is at the tail end of his career. So we already know that Crawford is just trying to get the biggest paydays and the most out of his legacy. If he can get a win over Canelo, that's it. Time to retire. You got the biggest win that you're going to have in your career. You got the most money. Peace out. But we have to see how it's going to play out. So now I like Crawford. He the king at 147, but he definitely not going to So he not the king at 147. He already vacated the title. He's already a champion at 154. And he already said he's not going back down to 147. So you still sound like a Crawford hater, my guy. You see? He not a king at 147. That's it. He not fighting in that division. He's never going to fight in that division again. So how can you be a king in a division where you already vacated titles and you already say you're not going back to? He's not a king in that division anymore. That's it. Now he's the king at 154. But maybe you're not ready to give him that credit. He already got a title. Anybody who need that smoke, line up. He's going to keep collecting them titles if he need to. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis can't happen or it's going to take a little bit longer to happen, I'd be happy with Tank Davis versus Teofimo or Shakur Stevenson versus Teofimo. That's a fight. Those are fights that I wanted to see when they were all at 135. Because everybody seen Teofimo get some big wins. Like, his skills are no longer in questions. I thought it was crazy, but I remember when people used to question how good he actually was. And that kind of died down after he beat Lomachenko. Although his haters started looking for reason. Oh, Loma was hurt, blah, blah, blah. But I think Teofimo, he's already, established. People already accepted that he's an elite level fighter from the moment he beat Loma. And I think Shakur Stevenson would match up well based on their style. And Tank Davis, that would also be a great fight. So we already know Ryan Garcia and Tank Davis got it in, Ryan Garcia, and Devin Haney. So Ryan already faced two of the biggest guys in the division, or around. We haven't seen that from Shakur because obviously nobody wants to fight him. They scared to death. And Tank Davis, his team don't want to let him play. They've been keeping him on a leash. So there you have it, man. Devin Haney, Mr. Free Agent, he the one ready for the smoke with everybody. Ryan Garcia shown his willingness to get it in with whoever. No Diddy, of course. We got to see how it's going to play out. But I think His Excellency Turki Alalshikh can make those fights happen. Remember, my peoples, if you have not subscribed to the channel, Box Center, go ahead and subscribe for the expert take on these situations. You see, that's the thing, bro. There's an opinion and there's an expert opinion. My peoples, I promise you, I'm giving you an expert opinion. Now, what makes it an expert opinion? Simple. For you to be an expert at anything, you have to have done it. You cannot be an expert in this subject because you've seen stuff on TV or seen stuff on social media or Googled it. That doesn't make you an expert. That makes you a faithful fan. But as an expert, I box as an amateur. And right now, I'm associated with boxing. I'm with my city's boxing associations. So I'm constantly around elite level amateurs, elite level pros, and so on and so forth. Ooh, nah. Gregory, come on. Inoue versus Tank? Nah, man. I can't believe you said that, man. How you going to say Inoue versus Tank? I'm going to tell you something. That fight stylistically is a beautiful fight. But my God, Inoue fights 3 divisions below Tank. 3 divisions below Tank. This guy started his career weighing like 112 pounds. Why would we want him to fight a guy that's literally double his body size? So that fight is not going to happen. You could forget about that fight, my God. Like, stylistically, I understand why it could be interesting, but we'll never get that fight. You could and look, Inoue is a smart guy. Let me tell you why. These people in Asia, a lot of them in that culture, they don't live a life of excess. They're not trying to be the most billionaires and the most rich and get the most money. I promise you, and I don't even know, I haven't done any research, but I promise you, Inoue doesn't have a car collection with a bunch of Ferraris or a bunch of whatever. I bet you he doesn't have multiple mansions in different places, because they don't live like that. So a guy like that, when he got $20-30 million, even $10 million, that's it. That's money for the rest of their life, for the next generation and the following generation, because they live in regular lives. Now, in the States, for example, a guy get $2-3 million, he's gonna blow that in a month, if not faster, because he's gonna buy a car, some ice, and boom, the money's gone. Those people. So the reason I'm telling you that is because Inoue doesn't need to take a fight with Tank. He actually said it already. He came out and said it. People want you to do crazy things. He fights all the way in the 135 division. I'm going to move up all those divisions to satisfy the people. That's not going to happen. So Inoue already shut that down. So no money that they try to offer him to try to get him to fight somebody who's twice his size, he's not going to fall for that bait. Inoue pound for pound GOAT, you know what? That's reasonable. That's reasonable. I think, listen, Crawford, Usyk, and Inoue. I think those 3, you can move them around however you want to, and it's cool. I'm okay with any of them 3 being at the number 1, number 2, and number 3 spot. Okay, so that's a horrible comparison. Why? Because remember, Inoue, He's 3 divisions away from Tank. But bro, he's already moved up 4 divisions, my guy. That's 7 divisions. 7. He started his career 7 divisions away from Tank. Take that into consideration. He started his career weighing less than 120 pounds. Take that into consideration. You're going to compare. And, yo, Inoue is 5'3". He's physically smaller than Tank. So did you really just compare a guy that's 5'3", smaller than Tank, to a guy that's taller than Canelo, has longer reach than Canelo, and walks around weighing in the 160s? Come on, my brother. You really making that comparison? Don't do it to yourself like that, my guy. Don't do it to yourself. Don't do it to yourself, my guy. Inoue is little next to Tank. Crawford is not little next to Canelo. You might want to believe that, 168. Then they take a picture next to each other. Crawford be looking down at Canelo like this. It's like, what happened with the 168, my boy? I'm bigger than you. I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you. That's why when you're inside and boxing on the inside, you notice things that you don't notice watching TV and watching YouTube. You're just looking at a number in your head. 168. That's so big. 168. And then when they standing next to each other, Crawford look bigger than Canelo. Come on, man. Look at the pictures. Look at the pictures. Yo, just look at the pictures of Crawford and Canelo next to each other, and you'll see. Now, if you ever find a picture of Tank and Inoue next to each other, it's going to be like this. Look, this is going to be Tank, and it's going to be Inoue. So you can't compare it. That's a bad comparison, my guy. Fundora versus Tim Tszyu, man. I wish we would have got that immediate rematch. Because I'm going to tell you something. Tim was winning that fight until he caught that elbow in the head. He was winning that fight. And it just went downhill. As soon as he got cut badly, all that blood. And that's it. He couldn't recover from that. But Tim was winning that fight, man. That was a heck of a fight. I can't believe that, with that nasty gash, he went all the way like that. Because that was a real bad one, yo. That was a lot of blood coming out of there. So, let's see. But Tim Tszyu is going to fight. And we already know Fundora is going to fight Spence. I thought that there would have been an immediate rematch to that fight, to be honest. I was surprised that there was no rematch. Let's see. Because, remember, Tim Tszyu in the past expressed interest in fighting Crawford. And when it comes to Fundora, if you recall, Crawford was his mandatory, and he got stripped, or is getting stripped, of his title once he proceeds to fight Errol, because he had to fight Crawford. So obviously, they opted not to fight Crawford. That's the way the cookie crumbles right there. Hold on, my people. So, straight up, let's get back on point. Who wins a fight? Shakur Stevenson or Tank Davis? Period. Tell me, who y'all think is going to win that fight? And whoever you think is going to win it, I want to know how you think they're going to win it. Is it going to be a knockout? Is the fight going the distance? How is it going to play out? Because I think we're going to have to get Shakur Stevenson versus Tank Davis. We're just going to have to get it. We can't go on without it. Period. Anyways, let me know in the comment section what you think about that fight. And also, remember to subscribe to the channel. Like and share the content, my peoples. I am the hottest things since sliced bread, but nobody know about me. Let's put them on, B. Let's let them know, yo, this the dude right here that's giving you the real shit. Tank has that dog in him. You're right. You're 100% right. Tank got that dog in him. Now, we have to wait and find out because nobody really been able to push Shakur so he can, be in a situation to show us that he got that dog in him. Yo, nobody pushed him. Nobody's been good enough to test him. Let's see if Tank is going to be that dude. Let's see. Because you could be a dog. That means you won't allow somebody to bully you. You won't allow somebody to stop you. You're going to keep coming. But being a dog is not going to help you outbox anybody. You still could be a dog and get your ears boxed off of you. And we just saw Pitbull. Pitbull's a dog. But he got his ears boxed off of him. So being a dog is not just automatically mean you're going to win a fight. Oh, no. You see? I was with you for a second when you said Tank, it's a dog. I agree with you. But you're already showing me that you're biased, that you're on one side more than the other. Why? Because what you said about Crawford, how Crawford is gonna get knocked out, and now you're taking Tank Davis' side in this argument as well. So now you're giving me the PBC fan type of talk. So watch this. Bro, Tank is in the 135 division for how many years already, and he hasn't beat a single reigning champion? What are you talking about, Tank? Take risks. Bro, let me put you on real quick. Tank in the 135 division didn't beat a single reigning champion. He beat a washed-up Gamboa for a vacant title. In the 140 division, he beat Barrios for a secondary title, and Barrios had got a vacant title off of a guy with like 7 professional fights. So basically, if you start looking at it, the only reigning champion Tank beat in his career is Leo Santa Cruz. How you about to be 30 years old, my nigga? You only beat Leo Santa Cruz. So that shit that you said about, Tank take more risks, that shit is super cap. Tank ain't beating no champions at all. Period. Now, if you know more than I, or if you know something I don't know, go ahead and put it in the comments. Tell me the champions that Tank beat. I'd like to know. Take your time, my boy. He 4 more champions. Oh my God, yo, what is this? Yo, you delusional, my boy. Let me put you on real quick. The champions that Shakur beat: Jamel Herring, Oscar Valdez. Write down right there in the comment section who are the reigning champions that Tank beat. Go ahead. Since he beat more champions than Shakur, feel free to tell me. Put me on. Teach me something. Go ahead. Who are the champions that Tank beat? Mario Barrios for the Mickey Mouse secondary belt. That's the champion? Damn, man. Yo, the PBC be having y'all fool. He beat Gamboa for another secondary title. Gamboa never been a champion in his life. That's the champion that he beat? The PBC got you fooled, my boy. Who? What are the champions that Tank beat? Tell me. Yo, Gamboa was not a champion. What do you mean they count? Gamboa was not a champion. It was a vacant title. What champion are you talking about? Tell me the list of champions that Tank has beaten. The PBC bamboozle you, my guy. And then you say that they matter. Look, vacant title. Let me show you. You say that secondary titles count? That shit is mad funny because in the 140 division, they already removed the secondary title. That secondary title doesn't even exist anymore. That's like you saying the franchise belt is real, the one Canelo had. Those titles are fake. Real boxing people don't count those titles, my boy. Those titles are to fool fans, to fool you fans into believing that he a champion. Yo, Tank is a four division champion who beat 1 reigning champion. Yo, they fooling you, my boy. But they ain't fooling me. I'm trying to tell you how it go down. He a 4-division champion who beat 1 reigning champion. And you're sitting here telling me that Tank take risks. Are you serious? Are you serious? Listen, Ryan Garcia takes risks. Devin Haney takes risks. Teofimo Lopez takes risks. Tank Davis ain't take a single risk in his whole career. What is you talking about? Tank Davis has been the overwhelming favorite to every fight that he has been to. What are you talking about? What risks? You know what will be a risk? If Tank fights Shakur, if Tank fight Teofimo, if Tank fight Devin, if Tank would have fought Loma. He ain't take no risks. They got you fooled. Floyd got you fooled. Bamboozle you, my boy. My nigga said, okay, so now he lightning fast. But I'm waiting for you to tell me the champions that he beat. You say he beat more champions than Shakur. Oh my God, now Shakur hasn't earned that fight. Oh my God, yo. You making every PBC, that's it, you're a PBC fan. It's cool, my boy. You're a PBC fan. Nigga say he hasn't earned that fight. Yo, Shakur has won titles. Look at this, look at this, look at this. So you can see that you behaving like a fan, my boy. You behaving like a fan of fighters and not like a fan of boxing. Be a fan of boxing, my boy. How you going to say he don't deserve that fight? Look, Shakur has won titles in already 3 divisions. That's more divisions than Tank. He's won titles in more divisions. Number 2, he's unified titles in 2 divisions. Number 3, he's beat more reigning champions than Tank. You were wrong about the statement that you made about all these champions. Nope, Tank ain't beat no champions. So, of course, Shakur is super deserving of that fight, yo. You sound like a super hater, my guy. He not deserve. Look, first you said that Shakur is this. And then when I'm trying to explain to you, what are you talking about? Now you say, oh, yeah, but he still don't deserve it anyway. Come on, man. It's like it's like no matter what, you're always going to hate on Shakur. As simple as that. But the guy's an undefeated champion. A guy that's been ducked by everybody in the division. Devin Haney ducked him. Yo, Devin Haney gave up a title to avoid fighting him to get beat up by Ryan Garcia. Look at that. Oh, now he said championship fights. Championship fights. How many reigning champions he beat? You just told me that Tank beat more champions than Shakur. Put their names on there. Tell me the names of the champions that you think Tank beat. I just told you the champions that Shakur beat. Reigning champions. Holding a title. Won a major title. Oscar Valdez and Jamel Herring. And by the way, after Shakur beat Valdez, Valdez became a champion again. He lost that title, but he became a champion again. Yo, people Tank beat going to be bums. There don't even be nobody after they lose to Tank. Oh my God, not the pedigrees. But yo, so okay, listen. If you want to talk about pedigree, can you go ahead and admit that you was wrong about that shit you said about Tank beat more champions? Admit to that. Because you keep trying to change the subject. Tank this, Tank that, Shakur not interesting. But admit it, yo. If you wrong, be like, yo, where it's true. Tank ain't beat no champions like I thought. Tank ain't beat no champions like the PBC had me believing. The PBC lied to you. Al Heyman lied to you. Floyd lied to you. Ain't beat no champions. Admit it. You keep trying to change the subject. And if you want to change it and now talk about pedigree, we could talk about pedigree. I'll be happy to talk about pedigree. But first admit that you was wrong about all them champions you said he beat. They ain't beat no champions. Tank got more clout. Now he got more clout. And he did beat more champs than Shakur. So tell me the champions that Tank beat. That's what I'm asking you. You keep saying that he beat more champions than Shakur. So I'm telling you, I've been telling you, yo, put the names in there. Because maybe you know something that I don't know. I may be confused. I don't know. But tell me who are the names of the champions that Tank beat. So I could know, because I don't know. I need to be aware too. Because I'm pretty sure when you win a vacant title, You didn't beat a champion. That's why the title was vacant. I'm just saying, I want to make sure you're aware of that. Anyways, my peoples, y'all already know what it is. Tank Davis and Shakur Stevenson is probably the most interesting fight to make if we're not going to get Terrence Crawford versus Canelo Alvarez. So I hope His Excellency Turki Alalshikh get us that fight. You already know, man. Box Center. Your favorite boxers, favorite boxing show. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. I appreciate you, my peoples. Boom. I'm out of here.